Hello. So, I was looking back over my YouTube stuff, and I realized when I started this channel, I wanted it to be book reviews. And then I got into Lego. Because I wanted it to be book reviews, and that's a knot in my hair, I will do a book review. Whoa! There's a book that I've been rereading for quite some time, and everyone that is in my life-ish knows about this book. Everyone that I talk to books about, and they're all very fed up with me talking about it, so I've been reading this book called Illuminae. I don't have the book right now because it's in America. But Illuminae is a book that is about a small planet that gets attacked by a big company called biotech. And while biotech is invading, they unleash this big cloud of just evil. No one really knows what the cloud is until they get onto the spaceship. This book is set in like the year 2075, so we've already got humans across the entire universe. We've got like big, massive space stations over like black holes, or actually I don't think it was a black hole. It was like a rip in space, so like people could like go to the station and like go from one point to another. That's in the other book. There are 3 books. They're all called the Illuminae files. Now when I say files, they are quite literally made of files. This book is not a he said, she said, and then they frolicked in the forest. It's not that kind of book. It is a transcript of conversations. It is a compilation of chat room logs. There are, in the book, there are pictures of posters that are in the space station, or spaceship, blah, blah, blah. There are diary entries in later books, and in the first book, I just realized. Yeah, so everyone on the small planet called Carenza, well, most of them, they go onto a spaceship to evacuate because no one wants to get killed by biotech, duh. And no one knows why exactly they attacked. No one knows what the cloud was. They all know that they have to get out of there. So, in the beginning, we mostly hear from these 2 survivors, Katie Grant and Ezra Mason. They were a couple until like 3 hours before the attack, and then Katie broke up with her boyfriend. We don't know why until like the middle of the book. But so as they're getting away on 3 different ships, the Copernicus, the Hypatia, and the Alexander, Katie and Ezra are split up. Katie goes to the Hypatia, Ezra's on the Alexander. As they are slowly, and I mean slowly, getting away, they realize they don't have enough supplies for the hundreds of people that they evacuated. They damaged the AI on the Alexander, called the Aiden was damaged, and they're all overcrowded. So they all screwed. So everyone who got touched by the cloud is on the Copernicus, and no one knows exactly what's going on. They think that they're all just PTSD, but guess what? They're not. Biotech created a biological weapon, whoa, and sent it out in that cloud thing. Now the cloud thing makes them insanely crazy, and I mean like Oh, scary, crazy. They're being chased by a ship from biotech called the Dreadnought Lincoln. So they're screwed. And everyone's trying to make it to Heimdall, which is a big jump ship station, like I mentioned before. And so they can easily travel out and spread the word about biotech being bumholes. Most of the information we get in the book is from one of our main characters, Katie Grant. Now, Katie Grant is like 17 at the beginning of the book, and she is a massively smart kid, and she's massively stubborn as well. So, as the book is going along, we are seeing Katie like literally defy every rule on the Hypatia, and she is hacking into the system and finding information about the infected, about supplies, about Aiden, about like everything. If it's encrypted and she's not supposed to read it, then she reads it. Like, as we read on in the book, we start noticing that something is going wrong on the Copernicus. So suddenly, all of the comms going to the ships go down, and they can't reach the Copernicus. I think they can still reach the Hypatia and Alexander, but they can't reach the Copernicus. And everyone starts freaking out. Some people think it's a maintenance glitch. Some people are like, wait, no, this has never happened before. Shoot. So suddenly, Copernicus blows up. Great. Some people got out in jump pods. So the Alexander starts trying to rescue people. The Alexander wasn't supposed to rescue people because it got a command from Aiden to just open fire on the Copernicus. And everyone's going, what? Yeah. So now Katie's trying to figure out why the Copernicus suddenly got like bombed to heck. And they're still trying to outrun the Dreadnought. They don't think they can do it. And they start realizing that Aiden is seriously damaged, because Aiden was the one who called the attack on the Copernicus, not any personnel. So then Katie tries to figure out she's trying to figure out what's wrong with Aiden, as is an entire team of people. So it's just sorry, I probably revealed too much about the book, but I love that book so much. So I found the book when my mom and I were at Walmart. She saw the second book and she goes, oh, she was like, I heard about this book online, it's really good. And I was like, all we know is that it's called Gemina. We don't know what genre it is. We don't know. Like, there's not even a blurb on the back. And then I noticed it said book 2. And I was like, can't get that. And she was like, I just found book 1. And I was like, hello, new collections to my thing. So that was in like 2017, maybe 2018. But like, I put off these books for so long because at first, I didn't know they were written out like transcripts, and I was already reading like a bunch of books. So after I finished my bunch of books and a few comics, I opened Illuminae and I went, no, and I shut it because I don't know how to read those books. Like, I've never seen a book like it. And I was like, oh, no, we are not touching that. And then I opened it back up. I got an audiobook. This was in like November of last year. I read that book in under a week. Like, I don't think I've ever tried to stay up for 24 hours when I have work since like Doctor Who. Because like when I was a kid, I remember like staying up for a week. Like I didn't get sleep for a week because I was trying to read this Doctor Who book that was only like this big. The Illuminae files are like this big. It's so I read this big ass book while I am shopping, while I am working, while I am well, no, not while I'm sleeping, but like in the shower, in like just like I made a dent in my couch. The dent was there before because I always sat there, but like and like every time that my then boyfriend walked by, I was always reading and he's like, "You're not done with that book yet?" And I was like, "No, must read, shut up." But like, oh my gosh. So there are 3 books in the Illuminae files: Illuminae, Gemina, and Oblivio. Obliviae? I think it's Oblivio. I like scoured the universe for Oblivio. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found the first 2 at Walmart and then just like forgot about the series. So I found Oblivio found it at BAM. BAM is short for Books A Million. So when I first listened to Illuminae, I listened to an audiobook on YouTube. Because I do this quite frequently. If there's a book that I'm trying to read and I don't want to spend money on it, then I go to YouTube and I type in Illuminae audiobook full or Illuminae full audiobook or something like that. And then so much stuff pops up and you gotta filter through the crap. The audiobook I listened to was split into 2 parts. Now, because I am crazy, I put the audiobook on like 2 speed and then read it all the way through. I don't recommend putting it on 2 speed because sometimes you miss stuff. I went back again after I got to England. I have all 3 books on Audible, by the way, because after the first book I was like, oh my god, I want to spend so much money on this. So I used my 3 free credits because, oh no, maybe I had to buy credits. But like I realized that you can exchange audiobooks that you don't like for credits. Illuminae right before I left America. And I was like, yeah, I can read it on the plane when I get really bored. I was reading through Illuminae again and I realized that I miss a lot when I put it on 2 speed. Like, there's so much little stuff that you just like skip the first time and then like you go through it again and you're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I definitely recommend having the book and listening to it because sometimes there are pictures that the audiobook doesn't like go through because it's an audiobook and you can't like look at it. And this happens a lot in the second book as well because in the second book there's a character who does diary entries and she like draws. So I definitely recommend buying the books and getting an audiobook so then you can like really listen to the full thing. And if you think it's just one person who's reading it out, no, this is set up like an audio drama, okay? There's like a whole slew of cast. Oh my god, it is so fantastic. Everyone who's like reading the audiobook is so good. They're so dramatic. They're so into what they're doing. And it's like, I could literally talk about this book for hours. I love it so much. And just, the alien sickness in the first book is so well thought out. It's so amazing. And in each book, they have some alien thing to battle against. Except maybe the last book. But like, it's so good and it's so imaginative. Ah. I literally want to like meet these authors and just like, because it's written by 2 authors. I gotta go. But I will see you all very soon because I'm uploading regularly. It's a shock, I know. Anyway, bye.